Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about the principle of playing the upper body against the lower body. And it can be as simple as taking a 2-on-1 grip, and as your opponent defends that 2-on-1 grip, you enter into the legs. Or you can be as creative as threatening an Imanari roll to attack the legs, and as your opponent defends that, you switch to the upper body and attack the upper body in the form of an armbar. Before we get into the video, I wanted to make you guys an offer. Right now, at the time of making this video, we're at 753 subscribers, and we've gotten 89 subscribers in the last 28 days. I think we can get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, but at the current pace, we're not going to quite get there. So I wanted to make you guys an offer. BJJ Fanatics has a ton of content out there, and it's the source of where I get most of the information that I study, right, for my own game and for this channel. I really enjoy the Danaher videos and all of his team's content. It's really amazing stuff. So I definitely think there's value in what BJJ Fanatics offers. And two, I've done giveaways in the past, and I've given away multiple gis, but the issue with that is some of you live very, very far away from me, right? So shipping a gi for $150 to you doesn't really make much sense. Whereas doing something like giving away a gift card would make a lot more sense and provide value to a lot of you. So this is the best form of giveaway that I've come up with. If you guys think of anything else I could do in the future, I plan on doing many more giveaways in the future. But for now, I wanted to give you guys a $50 BJJ Fanatics gift card if we reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you subscribed already, thank you. Please share this video with someone who has not heard about this channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so we can reach that 1,000 subscriber mark by the end of the year. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video. The goal of this video is to discuss the dilemma between upper body and lower body attacks and provide strategies for you guys to apply that principle. So first, we're going to talk about why it works, why threatening the upper body leaves the lower body vulnerable for attack. Two, we're going to talk about the technique of heisting and how I think this is an underutilized tactic to apply this principle. Three, we're going to talk about that famous shoulder crunch sequence that Gordon Ryan uses very successfully and how that relates to this principle. Four, we're going to talk about an overlooked application of threatening the upper body and entering into the lower body. We're going to look at one scenario where applying it can really help improve our games. And then five, we're going to look at Jacob Couch, the Hillbilly Hammer, and how he used this principle very beautifully in his most recent match. Let's start off talking about why it works. Now, the basic idea behind this principle is that when you're threatening the upper body, pretty much all of your opponent's defenses are going to involve posture. If they're stuck in a triangle, we're all taught to posture, right? Everything from the top of guard position starts with posture. So you're stuck in a triangle, you would posture up to prevent you from being finished in that triangle. Now, on the opposite side of the spectrum, to hide your legs from your opponent, you're going to sprawl your legs back, right? Prevent your opponent from reaching your legs. And what does that do to your posture? It completely destroys it, right? You can see the posture is pretty much non-existent here as he's trying to sprawl his leg back to hide his leg from his opponent, right? So the basic idea is when you're attacking the upper body, your opponent is going to want to posture. And by posturing, that brings their legs close and vulnerable to be attacked. Whereas vice versa, if you're attacking their legs, they're going to sprawl their legs back, which kills their posture, leaving their upper body vulnerable to attack. So you can just see the way that these two can be played off of one another. So just basic application here, you shoot an upper body attack, your opponent stands out of that upper body attack, leaving their leg behind and giving you the ability to enter into the legs. We'll see here Gordon Ryan is being coached by John Danaher, right? And I kind of mess with the audio a little bit to enhance the audio of John's coaching. And you'll hear John coach Gordon Ryan through this sequence here. And I think it's it's a very, very big insight on the strategy that they use as a team to get breakthroughs on their opponent.
Double Gucci.
So what John said right there was double coochie. Now this is more commonly heard of as like the dummy sweep or the idiot sweep, but basically you hop forward and you put both your shoelaces behind their feet and give them a little push and they will fall, right? As they fall, you can come up into like wrestling takedowns or whatever, but the basic idea is you're harassing their feet, right? And when you harass their feet, that typically leaves their upper body vulnerable. So we'll see here again, Gordon is threatening the upper body. This is just following that double coochie statement by Danaher. Gordon starts to threaten the upper body.
To the legs next time.
And you'll hear Danaher say, enter into the legs next time. So this is literally not even a minute later into the match. And this is Gordon attacking that same Kimura. And you'll see he's attacking that Kimura, that upper body attack. And as his opponent goes to stand, he follows up with a wrestling technique to follow up on top and reverse the position. So that's why it works, right? The defense to one opens up attacks on the other. So one technique that I think is very, very commonly used by Gordon, but not used by the rest of the jiu-jitsu community is heisting. This is a really, really strong technique to getting your opponent to react to your upper body threats. So we'll see here, Gordon is going against Josh Barnett, who's much, much heavier than him, right? And heisting is this method of posting on your hand here, generally having a collar tie here. And it's kind of like doing a technical stand-up, except instead of coming up to your feet, you go up to your knee. So Gordon comes up to his knee here, and he can either push his opponent back, or he can snap his opponent's head down and start threatening guillotines and things like that. But the basis of the idea is Gordon is bringing his head higher, right? So if his opponent wants to keep his head higher than Gordon's head, he's going to have to stand up. So he stands up. Now Gordon starts to enter into the legs. So he just threatened the upper body. Now he's entering into the legs, and he'll start to elevate. And now his opponent is leaning back, right? He's trying to hide his legs from Gordon. So Gordon uses that to sit up right into the sweep, the sumigeshi, right? Just beautiful. So now same thing. Opponent is kneeling, right? Gordon goes to heist. His opponent stands. Once they stand, they leave their leg behind. Gordon snatches the leg, and then he starts to do his thing. So it's just that basic dilemma, right? Of if you want to defend your upper body, you're going to give me your leg. And if you want to defend your leg, you're going to give me your upper body. And heisting is a great way for them to commit to defending that upper body attack. Now we're going to talk about the shoulder crunch sequence that Gordon uses a lot. And again, this goes back to starting with the sumigeshi. So we'll see here, the sumigeshi just happens right off the bat. Gordon gets a sweep. So now the next time, same match, his opponent doesn't want to get sweeped, right? So Gordon, same thing. He pushes his opponent back. His opponent starts to lean back into him. Gordon tries to do sumigeshi, but his opponent puts his hand out to defend. And that allows Gordon to enter into that shoulder crunch position. This is technically called a pinch headlock because he's got his head captured in here, but it can easily be transferred to a shoulder crunch. That's one way to enter. Lachlan is really well known for his leg attacks, right? So his opponent is trying to defend his legs. Lachlan's reaching for this leg here. His opponent is cross-facing him and preventing Lachlan from inverting underneath. So what Lachlan does is he says, okay, thank you. I'll take your arm and I'll start attacking your upper body. If you want to defend your legs, I'm going to attack your upper body. Now you can see both of these grips that Lachlan got on that shoulder crunch and Gordon got, they didn't have to fight too hard for him, right? Their opponent is pretty much giving them the grip because they're trying to defend their legs. And that is the idea behind the dilemma, right? There's no good choice for your opponent. It's, do you want me to attack your legs or do you want me to attack your arms? I'm attacking something. You just have to choose which one. And there's not a good choice there, right? They're both bad. So once we have that shoulder crunch position, we can do that classic sweep that Gordon did in ADCC, or we can start attacking the upper body like Lachlan did. Another route we can go is if our opponent starts to slip out, we can enter into the legs. If they start to posture and slip out of the pinch headlock or shoulder crunch position, we can enter into their legs. Now, a underutilized, I believe, application of this principle is guard passing. Now, when you're passing the guard, you could see here the top player is really trying to pass the guard, right? They're trying to flatten out their opponent here. Their opponent does not want to be flat on their back. They turn to their side. And by turning to their side, by defending the upper body, they leave their legs vulnerable. Now compare this to someone who is only trying to attack the legs, only trying to enter into the legs, and is very persistent about entering into the legs. It's a real battle, right? It's hard. When your partner is only focused on defending the legs, it's very hard to enter into the legs. So we'll see here again, when you're trying to pass the guard, if you're focusing on flattening your partner out and getting underhooks and things like that to pass their guard, they're going to turn onto their side to prevent that from happening. And when they turn onto their side, their top knee right here is going to be pointing towards you. And if that's the case, that makes the back step very, very easy to achieve. And it looks pretty much effortless, right? As opposed to the other video that we just watched where it was a huge battle to enter into the legs. Now, let's look at Jacob Couch, the Hillbilly Hammer, and his latest match where he used this principle very, very effectively from closed guard. So we'll see his opponent is trying to posture, right? Jacob has this collar tie here, preventing posture. His opponent is trying to posture, and he's using this foot on the ground to create that posture. Now, Jacob sees that. He hooks the leg. His opponent then defends the leg, sits back on the leg. So again, just like kind of a non-committive way of, okay, I'm going to grab your head, you're going to put your foot on the ground, I'm going to grab your foot, you're going to hide your leg from me. Pretty basic application of this principle. Now, again, his opponent starts to stand to pass. Jacob hooks the leg. His opponent says, no, I don't want you to get my leg. I'm going to hide that leg from you. So now Jacob says, okay, I'm going to really start to threaten your upper body. I'm going to climb my legs up and really threaten your posture, right? And then I'm going to underhook your leg. So now this underhook isn't necessarily to attack the legs, it's to enhance the upper body control, right? Jacob's now creating angle to really threaten that arm bar, really threaten that triangle. And now when he does really threaten the submission in the upper body, his opponent is going to have to really posture to get out, right? His opponent stands up to get out, and that leaves the leg entry there. So it's just a great application of this principle, and hopefully you guys will be able to use some of these tactics and strategies and apply them to give you all better success, either entering into the legs or working on your wrestling or passing the guard, right? Whatever you're trying to do, try to create dilemmas for your partner. So please like, please subscribe. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year.